All right, Jen, you can proceed.
All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. How are you? I hope we're all ready for this class. I'm excited about it. Um, One of the things I would really like us to do is to really participate in the class, enjoy the class. It doesn't mean that whenever we have class, we have to be gloomy. Let's try and enjoy the class, ask questions, participate, and just share so that we learn together. So let's just dive into it. My name is Jane. I'm with the placement team, placement consultant, and we're the ones who in Cyber Shuja we help with placing of our graduates and of the graduates. Huh? So we'll just dive right into it. So today we're going to tackle the interviewing and negotiation skills. That's what you're going to do today. Now we start interviewing skills. Um, Interviewing skills is a set of interpersonal skills, basically, and communication skills that help you as a job seeker to to demonstrate that you are the best candidate for the job. Okay, Lauren, we'll just stick to the first one first. Tuko pamoja?
Yes, I'm going back, don't worry.
Okay. Okay, so interviewing skills are basically for you, a job seeker, to demonstrate that you are the best candidate for the job. It's basically you going to showcase who you are. Unajiuza. For the first time in your life, you're supposed to go and sell yourself like your product on the shelf. Why somebody should pick you instead of picking many other very flashy, beautiful looking products. That's what actually, when you're going in there, you're like, at the end of this thing, I have, at the end of the interview, I need to be able to convince these people that I am better than everybody else who they are going to sit and talk to. So you must make an impression by the time you're going to that interview room. You must make sure you make an impression, and you make an impression not by drama. Of course, you make an impression by facts. Okay. Then we have the negotiation skills, the abilities used to reach an agreement between two or more parties in a conflict or just in a discussion. By the time you're going into a job interview, you at some point you'll have to negotiate. You'll have to negotiate for your salary, you can negotiate for benefits. So you need to go, by the time you're going to negotiate, you need to have your facts right. I used to work for somebody, a CEO, who used to say that numbers don't lie. Anytime you would make a decision, you would make a decision based on numbers, based on facts. So even them, the interviewer, is going to make a decision on you based on facts, not some, whim, but based on the facts that they are, based on the facts that, on the fact that what you are presenting, is it what they want? Okay, so you need to be very careful that by the time you're going for this interview, everything that is in everything that you have put in your CV has to be true. Okay, don't lie in your CV, put the truth. I can share maybe instances where we sat on a panel for interviews, and you could see, and you take a CV, and wow, the CV is glowing. And then all of a sudden, the person who sits before you and the thing they tell you is not the same. So you need to be very careful, because at the end of the day, as much as Kenya, we are all these people who owe integrity issues, but every employer is looking for somebody with integrity. So you need to be somebody who by the time you're seated in front of them, they get what they see. Not you give them another story, but what they're getting is something else. So we move to the next slide, Lorraine, for the agenda of the day. So our agenda of the day, as Lorraine is putting up the screen, our agenda of this session, we should be able, by the end of this session, you should be able to undertake an interview successfully, where you're able to know what to do before, what to do during, and of course, what you're going to do after. And even just if there a moment comes where you have to negotiate your salary, you are able to negotiate competitive employment terms. Employment terms, we look at salaries, and we also look at other benefits that come with the job. Lorraine? Today, network issues are disturbing us like yesterday. Guys, bear with us. As Prof was saying, we are women. Drama will happen, but you're going to learn together until we finish. Sindio, I hope tuko pamoja. You know, please give me a reaction to know that we are together. Any reaction from you? Sophie, thank you. Joy, Philomena, yes. Aisha, you know, thank you, thank you. And even the chat, please remember to also, as we go on, just chat. So you can put something in the chat, you know, don't just be quiet, interact. It's boring. I don't want to talk to myself. Yes, Janice, yes, I can see you. Thank you. So Lorraine, tuko pamoja, we are with you. We are bearing with you. So as we wait, I think we can just go on and start. So if you're able to write your notes, it's okay. You can pick. You can put down as we go on. So for the interview preparation, okay. By the time you're preparing for the interview, one of the things you need to first do is research about the company. Do research on the company. Find out what are their values, what is their goal, what is their mission, vision, you know, what projects are they doing right now, what level are they at, is it a small company, big company? You need to find out more about the company so that by the time you're sitting in front of them, you are well aware and you're very confident that you know what this company is about, what is the culture of that organization, so that even you're able to know whether do I really want to work for this organization or not. Okay? If you're able to talk to those in the organization, you know, follow up, talk to them, the people in the organization, if you know someone, you know, but of course, don't dig too much, especially if you don't know the person you're talking to, maybe may not be a friend, okay? So that you also don't expose yourself, you don't look like you're canvassing, you are getting undue advantage, okay? So find out more information. If you're able to look for the HR managers, find out, identify the problems for the position maybe you have applied for. Find out what are the challenges that maybe the company is having, so that it gives you a lot of advantage even as you prepare for the interview. So you now tailor yourself to look like the solution. And that is not lying, by the way. That is you understanding, okay, fine, this is the need that is there, and what do I have that can meet the need, so that you actually bring it out and showcase what the need that you are able to meet as you go for that interview. Then we also don't try shortcuts. Don't try looking for the HR manager, doing funny things, who knows who. Some of those things can backfire on you. So just be nice, wait, you know, do the right thing. Practice your listening skills. Okay? Practice your listening skills. When you go for the interview, active listening is very, very important. By the time you're going in there into that room, you need to be very attentive and to listen. Okay? Listen. Whenever you ask a question, listen. be observant, listen to what is being said and also not what is not being said, body language. They say that 70% of communication is body language, okay? 30% what people say, 70% is how they behave. So be very watchful, okay? As you prepare for the interview, you can use once you research for the job, consider the questions that you're going to be asked, you know? Read a lot. Right now, the good thing about what we are doing right now, where in the age we are in right now, there's Google. I don't think there's anything you'll not find in Google. You know, you go to Google, find out how to some of these things, some of these videos, you know, how to prepare, find out which questions will be asked. For example, there's a question, then questions that must come is, tell us about yourself. So in such a question, maybe you can share on chat. When somebody tells you, tell us about yourself, asks you, tell us about yourself. What do you think you should, how do you think you should answer that question? You can unmute if you want to say something, you can unmute and say, or you can share on chat. Janice says, I think you should give a brief summary of your CV. Janice, be more specific. What exactly in your CV? Someone else who wants us to hear their voice? We need you to be confident. This is also an opportunity for you to showcase your confidence. So I would really like us to speak if possible. That is your educational background, your experience, your skills. Yes, very good. Faith, talk about your profession. Very good, Faith. Anyone else?
Oh, hi, Jane.
Hi, Whitney.
So when asked, when tell me about yourself, I would essentially have a brief overview of, say, the current position I would be in at the time, what I'm doing, and then I'd go over to try and integrate like future responsibilities of the role I am applying for and how my current experience can fulfill some of that.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good, Whitney. That's very good. Anyone else wants to try? Add? Sophie, you can also talk about your hobbies. Sophie, but be very careful. Sophie, you can, but we would suggest you don't. Whenever you go to an interview, try and give the very relevant information. Those other things, leave them. In fact, your CV, if it's possible, don't include your hobbies. I normally encourage people not to include their hobbies, so that you don't give people fodder for discussion, to digress to many other things. If at some point they feel like they want to ask you, it has come from thin air, fine. But don't give them information that again will put you into many other things where you have to give a lot of information about yourself that maybe may not be relevant to the job. You get. So to take us back to the question, when asked, tell us about yourself, try and keep it your professional life, basically. If you have experience, go back, talk about where you started. You can go education. Let us say, for example, for many of us, we have not worked before. So you go back to where you did your education, what you did in campus, where you did your attachment, and some of the things you did. And you can now share some achievements. I think we discussed achievements yesterday. Some of you are leaders in things, the things that you did to showcase some skills that you have, leadership skills, communication skills. Those are now the things that now you can talk about, things that reflect well with the job. They connect to the job that you are applying for. Okay? So for hobbies, I would say hiyo achana nayo. Hobbies, ukipata kazi, you can talk about with your colleagues about the job. But hobbies, no, for now, it will be good. I believe it will be wise for you to lay off that. Talk about the position you are, Philomena is saying, talk about the position you are in currently and skill you have and the skills relating to the position you have applied for. Very good. That's very true. I will give a brief background about me. Joy is saying, my name, current role, my skills, education and SATs, current roles, career aspirations, and give a very pleasant and positive conclusion in 4 to 5 minutes. Well done, Joy. I like that. Give a pleasant and positive conclusion. Yes, it's good to be positive. Don't go into an interview room looking like alarm ready for slaughter. Those are human beings. What's the worst they'll do? They'll say no. Then life goes on. Yeah? So you need to go inside that interview room with confidence. These are just human beings, and what you're going to do there is just as look at the definition of interview skills, it's just for you to demonstrate that you're good for the job. Okay? So just try and relax, because when you relax, you will not make mistakes. But when you're too nervous, you'll definitely make mistakes. So be confident, okay? Communication, good communication skills. Work on your communication skills. Prepare. As you prepare, one of the things you can prepare with is going before a mirror. Look at yourself, Pick out the clothes you're going to wear, For now, when you're going for an interview, please make sure, be professional. I know in IT, sometimes you can be very relaxed mode. Even there are some companies when you're working, you can even work in jeans. That's not time for jeans and funny looking things. First impressions matter. And you don't know who is going to interview you. You may be interviewed by a mama or a baba, somebody who is much older, and for them they're coming from a mindset that when you're going for an interview, you must be wearing a suit or you must be wearing an official outfit. Okay, so just make sure for that first impression, first meeting, just dress for the occasion. Kenyans were very good for dressing up for the occasion. When you go to weddings, you see for that occasion, people have showcased their dresses. Sunday best. We always know what to wear when. So when you're going for an interview, also take the time to do that. Another thing, as you prepare, make sure you review your CV, make sure your CV is up to date, have all your original papers, put them in a folder. They are very beautiful folders nowadays that you put every paper, every certificate in a page. So when they ask you, don't give them papers. You give them a nice, neat folder. It shows how neat you are, You're ready for this, If you give me this, I'm going to be organized. You need to walk into that room and realize that everything you're doing, they're looking at you, you see? So try and advertise yourself by even everything you do, what you say, how you talk, how you answer. You're advertising yourself. You are selling yourself, okay? So have a nice folder, maybe have 1 or 2 CVs you have printed in case they ask you. Just give out your CVs when you start talking. Thank you for having me for this interview. You give out your CVs, your original papers, and they ask, and you're seated, nicely relaxed, just waiting to be answered question. And of course, smile. Don't be surayakazi, It's not fight. It's just us people talking. All right. Lorraine, are you able to continue now? As I wait for Lorraine to respond, I can continue. So after review your resume, we have said that, communicate, dress appropriately, be positive, practice your answers. As part of the other thing, apart from the question of tell us about yourself, know your weaknesses and strengths. Those are questions that must come. Why you, not somebody else? Those are questions that must come. What is your career goal? What are your career paths? What are you passionate about? Those are some questions that may come. So practice this question. Practice them in front of a mirror. Practice them until they're now part of you. It's not you trying to remember, this is how I should answer this. Practice until they're part of you. A disclaimer when you come to weakness. Pick weaknesses that can also be a plus. What do I mean? For example, you can say one of your weaknesses is you're a perfectionist. You see, a perfectionist, a person who is a perfectionist, one issue they have is this: they may take too long in an assignment. But one thing you know, by the time they're done, it will be something good. So try and pick your weaknesses, which by now you need to know what your weaknesses are, that can also be a positive to your boss, to the potential employer. Don't pick things that when they look at you, they're like, I like drinking. That's a weakness. No. Don't mention such things in the interview. It's like whenever you go to visit homes, they will not show you their dirty linen. They will bring for you the best mats, the best cups. So even you that day, you are showcasing your best mats, your best cups. So just be very careful about that. Review the job description so that you're able to know what really has to come out. Tailor make your CV so that it actually brings out the job description, what really stands out about you that will resonate with the job description. Okay. So we go to the next slide. Lorraine, next one. So for this, thank you, Lorraine. So even before we go to that, just know what you like. What is it that you are looking for? What do you want? Is there anything in the industry that is similar but not exactly what you want? Don't overlook jobs. Even as you're searching for jobs right now, this is just something we are giving you on the side. As you're looking for jobs, don't overlook jobs. Sometimes people have started with small jobs here and there, odd jobs here and there, and then they've gotten the job they want later. So right now, you may not have many options. Maybe you just want cybersecurity only or something to do with IT, and maybe a role in operations has come. You can jump into operations and see whether you can do that operations for some time, and then you go back to your first love, which is IT. Okay. Make sure your credential, experience, all those things you have to know. You have to have access to them. What are your transferable skills and achievements? Those are all things that you need to know by the time you're going for the interview. Okay. Always remember that the job has a lifespan. That job is not going to be there forever. Each job is an adventure. If you get that job, it's an adventure. It's temporary. You'll do it for this season and then another one will come. And for jobs, it's about also what is your plan? By the time you're getting your first job, what is your plan? You have to have a plan. You have to have goals. Okay? So that by the time you're saying, I want to do this job for the next 3 years, and after 3 years, I want to apply for this role. And that role after such a time, this is the next position I want, and this is the title I want. You have to be very, very intentional as you go on with your career. And you pray and hope that things at least can go how you want. But chances are when you have a plan, you're likely to succeed when you have a plan. Okay? Remember, satisfaction must lie in the job. Why do we say this? You have to be passionate and satisfied with the job that you're doing. So if you're in a job that you're not happy with because you had to take it, then work hard to get the job that you really want. Whether it is going to upskill, whether you're going to apply for another job to get it. Work at getting something to do something that you really enjoy. As an employee, you may not get praise when you get these jobs, a lot of times the bosses or the people, supervisors are going to get the jobs with the praise, but just remind yourself at the end of the day, you're also getting a lot of experience and skill. At some point, if you continue like that, doing well, one day it is who's going to get that praise. You'll be the one who is on top, who is getting all the accolades and praise. If you like the job, you do it well. Anywhere you go, do the job well, because that is what is going to give you the next, and then the next, and then the next. Next slide, Lorraine. So we have talked about preparing for interviews, do a mock interview. There's that YouTube to watch. Maybe Lorraine will share it on the chat. You can watch it a bit later. So this, what practice does when you practice before the mirror, watch mock interviews, is it boosts your confidence. Okay, when you go before the interview panel and you're confident, you know, and you have your facts right, then you're very relaxed because you're asked this, you know, you are asked this, you know how to answer. Okay, just make sure that by the time you are going for the interview, you're well aware the people you're going to see. This interview, is it just going to be oral interview? Is it going to be some tests? Those are things they may communicate. If they don't communicate, well and good. But if they communicate, just be aware so that you know if it's a competency test, if it's those biometric tests, those tests that they bring, you know how to go about it. Okay? It was not biometric, sorry. That was the wrong word. So just know which test is going to happen, so that you are able to prepare for them. You go to the Google and just check those tests, do a few, you know, so that you're able to like work on your speed, so that you answer as many questions as possible. Next slide. Any questions until there? So some tips for success. Identify your career interests. If you want to succeed in this job market and job life, identify your career interests. What is it you're good at? What is it you want? Don't just go at it, oh, watu wanafanyanga nursing. If you don't have a heart for it, that's why you go to hospitals and you get people who just want to murder other people. They are ever bitter, angry, because they're just in something because somebody threw them there. Or kafanye nursing, you know. Use your networks, okay? Send your CVs to your networks. Some of these jobs are never advertised. It is by the person you talk to who, then the person will be able to say, oh, by the way, I heard there's this, somebody is looking for this. Use your networks. Grandmother to so-and-so knows uncle to so-and-so to so-and-so. Use those networks. Know your tools. Know this thing that you're applying, this job that you're doing, IT. Know this field of yours. What is the trend? What's going on in your field, you know? This, when you know such things, you also are prepared to ask questions. When they ask you, do you have questions, you know? So that you have some intelligent questions. Try and ask intelligent questions so that they're like, wow, that was a good question. Ask intelligence question. Run your own race. It's not about so-and-so is ahead of me. No, run your race. It's not about the other person. It's about you. Invest your time and energy and it will give you results. There's this psychologist, Benjamin Zulu. I follow him a lot. He says, when you master something, people will look for you. Okay? Don't be a jack of all trades. Be a master of something. So it's very important for you at this age, you know, where you are right now. You need to know, where am I going? What do I want to master in? So that by the time at a few years, you have worked, you have put your time, your energy, you've gone to school, you have upskilled, at some point, people will be looking for you. And when you go to a negotiating table for a salary, you'll be asking for what you want. In fact, you'll be headhunted. When people are talking about security analysts, You know, the renowned security analyst, for example, Philomena, you know, renowned. It's because you have mastered it. So when they're looking for the who is who, you mastered it and then you become the best in your field. So it's very important that you know very quickly on, where am I going? What do I want? And once you master it, it's going to help you. Next slide, Lorraine. Thank you. So another reality check as you're looking this issue of jobs, these are just things that we are also bringing in to help you as yes, today we are talking about negotiation and interviewing skills, but these are all things that will help you even as you go into these job interviews. Reality check is this. It takes one job offer. Okay? That one job, it may just be tomorrow you're going for an interview, and that one job will change your life. Okay, job searches take from 6 to 24 months. You may apply for the first job, you get that first job. You may apply for 100 jobs, you'll get the 100th job. You need to find it in yourself to keep going. Don't give up. Have a vision board. Have a vision board where it's a board where you put your vision there. Maybe your vision is one day to go to Paris. So take the Eiffel Tower, picture of Eiffel Tower, put it on that vision board. Your vision one day is to own a chicken farm. Take a picture of a chicken farm, put on your vision board. Your vision is one day to own a Mercedes Benz. Put your picture of a Mercedes Benz on the vision board. All these things that you major things in your life you want to one day do, put them there and put that vision board where you can keep on seeing it. Let that be your motivation. When you get regret letters, that when you look at that vision board there, it reminds you, I need a job. So let me wake up from my couch and apply. 80% of the jobs are never advertised. We had said this. So network, listen, talk to people, ask. So get at it, okay? Network and access hidden job market. Okay? It's not a matter of if, but when you'll get the job. The job will come. It may take some short, long, too long, but the job will come. Rejection is not a reflection of your competency. I repeat, rejection is not a reflection of your competency. It just means those people, they got a perfect fit for them. That does not reflect you're not worthy or it's not you. No, that has got nothing to do with you. It's just for you to continue looking until you also get that place that you fit perfectly. And then you begin from there. Yes, Lucy is saying something. Lucy, I'm currently trying to find my career path and interest, but I'm stuck on finding one where it clicks. I love working in tech, but I'm still not sure on the exact path. How can one narrow down on this when choosing one to go into? I can see, Lucy, you're already saying you love tech. So my suggestion would be this. The good thing is you love tech. Are you able to still do tech so that just like doctors, when they do general practice, and then one day somebody, maybe they are found in a situation where our mother gave birth, and then they're like, wow, I like that. So probably I should go into gyna. So I'm thinking, are you able to first do tech, even your first job, and then as you time is going by, as you interact with different things, different systems. I may not know deeply. Maybe Lorraine can add on this because I know Lorraine is in IT. Maybe as you continue interacting in your tech world, yeah, because sometimes some people discover things as they go, but you're already in the line of something that will expose you to something that you may really be passionate about. Okay, Lorraine, you can add something there?
Yes, excuse me. So my first question will be, what IT is wide. So where are you specifically? What do you like? Do you like networking, or are you the person who likes coding, or are you much of more of doing research in tech? Where exactly do you lie?
Thank you, Lorraine. Yeah, sure.
Lucy,
So
hi. I would have liked her response so that at
yes,
least we
Lucy.
know where to categorize
Yeah.
her.
Yes, Lucy.
What do you find yourself doing most of the time when you are in tech?
For me personally, I think I prefer the research aspects.
Mm-hmm.
The coding for me, I did try it out, but I think for me personally, it wasn't like the path that I wanted to go into. I tried it for some time, but I found that that's not where I want. The research part, probably.
So you are more in research.
Yes.
So you can start by finding, by networking with people who are also in research. Just look at LinkedIn and see who you can find that is also in research. Also, you can be, I don't know, have you heard of what is this program? I'll remember and then tell you. There's also IBM. They also have a research attribute about them in tech. You can check them out.
Yes. I looked at IBM.
And
It also offers a wide range for the IBM. It offers a wide range of support, and also it offers a wide range of where you can actually choose to go into the research path in the tech. So I think it's an opportunity. Now it's just a matter of narrowing down. I don't know, like I guess it works when you work in something and then you can just choose
yes,
your working.
yes. So that I think that's the way to go. You'll just have to find it as you go, as Jen has said.
All right. Thank you, Lorraine. Yes, Lucy, as you heard, some of these things, they come as we go. What is important is you don't stop somewhere. You keep on going as what you're doing. Some people, as you do what, as you continue doing this working and doing some of these things, you'll start finding things that you're really connecting with, and you realize that no, this is where I want to really stay. Okay, we can now move to the next slide, Doreen. So the next again. Okay, so even as you're job hunting, you need to look at what are your priorities. Your priorities, what are your career objectives? They determine what your priorities are going to be. You're looking at salary, what's your location, your timelines, family. For example, if you're a family person, if you're a family person, there's some jobs maybe you may not be able to take. What are your interests, your values, the cost of living. You see, like for example, when you come to negotiating, you have to also look at the cost of living so that you're able to also, like right now, the sha shu, we don't even know how many shas are there right now. And Kenyans are crying right now, wailing. Yeah, you're also looking at further education. Right now, you've just done your undergrad. I'm sure when you get your first job, many of you are just thinking, I want to quickly start my master's. Some are also thinking of next, I'll go and do my PhD. I want to do certification in this. So these priorities these are the things that are going to also determine, even as you go for your job interview, the direction and the path that you are taking. Next slide. Thank you, Lorraine. Right attitude for job searching. You have to have a right attitude, positive about yourself, your skills, your search, past employers, the future, and what you can add to the job. Okay. When you're going before these people, honestly, be very positive. Know your self-worth. It's very important you know your self-worth because it also helps you negotiate better, even when it comes to negotiating. Remember, by the time you are employed to that job, If you negotiated in a way that was a disadvantage on your side, you will still do the job of the person being paid more than you, maybe for the right amount that you should have negotiated. You will still do all the jobs. They will not say it now because we gave you a less salary, now you do less work. Not going to happen. If not, in fact, you'll be even given more work. So by the time you're going to negotiate, you also need to know all those facts. What is this job? What does it entail? What is the salary for this role? You know, what job, what organization is this? Is this a big organization? Can they pay that amount or not? And then also look at your skill, your level. Are you entry level? Are you mid level and all? So those are all facts you should look at by the time you're going to negotiate. Be persistent. Apply for other jobs at the company. Keep watching for openings. Keep trying to improve while searching for a job. Be confident. Believe that you'll be successful in adding value in a new position. You know, body posture, be confident. You know, when you sit up, don't slouch. When you're in the interview room, be prepared. Research about the company more than anyone else. Know yourself. Know thyself. By the time you're sitting before those people, there's no one who's going to tell you about yourself more than you. It's only God who knows you more than you know yourself. So you're going there to just tell us about yourself. That's all. Resourceful, share networks and connection, make use of latest technology. LinkedIn, job search, look everywhere. You know, this is a season in your life that you need to really focus on getting that job, because you need the vision board that you have made. Let's agree, by the way, I hope all of us who are sitting here today listening to my voice, if you don't have a vision board, please go and do some research. What is a vision board? And have a vision board. It's very important that you have a vision board. It will keep you true to where am I going in this life. When you know where you're going, there's some things that you easily shake off, as opposed to all these, you'll be getting involved in so many other things that will waste your time. So you need to have that. Aya, Mary says, hi, concerning customizing the CV based on the job description of the work applying for. Kindly, can someone help identify a good app that helps to do both ATS, compliant CVs, and modern CVs? Okay. That one is something we can do later. I think I saw Monica here. Monica, I think, can help you with that. Okay, if there's someone, maybe if somebody knows a site, you can share on the chat. For someone wants to customize their CV based on the job description. Okay. All right, we can share that as we go on ahead. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Mary, you can speak to Monica and also speak to me a bit later. We can deal with the CV issue. Okay, so we go to etiquette at the interviews. We are assuming you learned about everything that you needed to learn before you land in the interview room. Now it's a D-Day, you have arrived. Arrive early. Scout the area. If it's a place you don't know, if you can go earlier, a day earlier, scout the area, you jue nini naendeleanga, gari gani inaenda hapo, are you being dropped, are you doing Uber? Just know what needs to happen. So arrive early. I always suggest, for me, 30 minutes early. Go early. If there's a washroom, go freshen up. Maybe if you walked, your shoes are dusty, just go to the ladies' room, freshen up, you know, just powder your nose a bit, wipe your shoes, put on some perfume, if maybe some sweat kidogo. Just make sure, have a breath mint. Let not people faint when you open your mouth to say, hi, my name is, and somebody's down on the floor because they fainted. So breath mint, just make sure. Be courteous. Be courteous even at the gate. Some places when you go for interviews, they even ask at the gate, how did she behave? So don't go to the gate and you're giving ATT to the watchman. Oh, please. Say hi, be courteous to the subordinate staff, when you're asking, just be nice. Use good posture, walk upright, if you have heels, walk nicely, just be confident, be feminine, be that woman who is, you're walking in, the world is your oyster, don't go there, bend down thinking, wait, today I'm dying in the interview room, I'll not come out. No. You talked about being positive. Just be positive. These people are looking for someone. They also need someone just the same way you also need the job. Avoid using first name unless the interviewer is familiar. Okay, don't go in there, you're saying, yo. Right language, okay? Dress decently and smartly. We spoke about this. Listen carefully, smile, learn, and be yourself. Just be yourself, relax and be yourself. Relate your qualification to the desired job. So that's the part where whatever you're asked, bring out what stands out. Maybe you've worked in other jobs, odd jobs that maybe are not relevant to the job. Those ones they have mentioned in your CV. If they need to ask questions, they ask. But when you're being asked questions, bring out those things that are really relevant to the job. Okay? Try and really pick the relevant things, the things that stand out. Achievements, if you have achievements that bring out your skills, technical skills or soft skills, bring them out. Maybe leadership skills, you're good at attention to detail. Those are things that when you have such achievements, bring them out. Speak about them. Speak about yourself, Yeah, so just bring them out. Do not initiate a discussion about salary. The pause was for, in movies, you have to have that effect. that was why I've put the pause. Do not initiate a discussion about salary and benefits. That one, keep quiet about it. If they ask, then answer. When you're asked to ask a question, ask questions that maybe, for example, just prepare yourself with 1 or 2 questions to ask them about maybe, this role, how is it going to, you can ask something about the role. What are some of the challenges the organization is having about the role to show that you care about the organization? Okay, so anything you do within that time, let it be something that for the interviewer, he's looking at, it will bring benefit to them. That's how the employers are very full of themselves. They only think about themselves. So you have to bring yourself, you also have to make yourself look like you care about them. At that time, you're not supposed to care about yourself. Okay? Then during the interview process, once you're done, just sema asante, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, just be courteous, sema asante, especially when you're given time to ask a question, just be thankful. And in fact, when you're starting to answer your questions, when they tell us about yourself, you can, first of all, I'm so thankful that you've given me this opportunity to come, that courtesy is very, very important. Then once you're done, of course, you say thank you and you leave. If they ask for your, during the interview, if they ask for your papers, just make sure you have your papers ready. You just give as we said, the folder, nice folder, they're just opening, it's like an album. I know, I hope you all know what I'm talking about. So they're opening your degree, you put your papers from the latest to the one before, okay? Latest to the oldest. Any question until then? About we go on. I hope I've not lost anyone. You can give me a thumbs up if all is well. Okay. I see Joy, thumbs up. Philomena, thumbs up. How comes I'm just getting the one usual suspects? Sasa ni kama nawajua sasa. Where are the rest? Are we here? I need somebody who has not spoken to say something. Sophie, yeah, Sophie, you're the usual suspects. Where are the others? Karen, Magdalene, Sheila, Hulda, and you guys are very nice names. Okay, so I hope we are together. So now we come to negotiating for your salary. If an employer has extended a job offer to you, they want They want you for the position. Okay? Yes, Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia is telling me, yes, we are together. Nice, Cynthia. So by the time somebody is offering you salary, you're talking about salary, they want you. So first of all, you need to be happy with yourself that you're wanted. Okay? Then you need to understand that salary is part of life. Negotiating for salary is part of life. So that by the time you're going to the negotiating table, you're not going to the negotiating table looking at yourself not worthy. You're worthy of a good salary. You're worthy to live decently. And of course, remember what were your priorities then. We talked about them earlier. You've looked at what are the responsibilities you have, where do you live? Okay, so those are all things that by the time you're going to the negotiating table, you must have all those facts. Okay, but above all, what are you bringing to the table? Okay, I know we are in a day and age where there's this discussion between men and women, where men are asking, what are women bringing to the table? So there's a lady who was asked there's a lady who was asked that if you're asked this question, what do you bring to the table? What will you answer? A guy asked you that, and the lady answered. She kept quiet and then she answered, I am able to identify what the table needs. Good answer, don't you think? Eh? She's able to identify what the table needs. So you need to know what you're bringing to the table. Okay, so when you go there, you need to identify what that table needs and what you're going to bring to that table, so that when you are negotiating for your salary, you'll get what you want. Employers expect candidates to negotiate their salary, and often they offer lower than the salary cap for the position. So they are setting you up. So first of all, you need to know, you have done research. This job I'm asking for, I'm applying for, what is the salary paid for this job? We had talked about the organization. Is this a big organization? Is it a small enterprise? What is it? So that you know, can they pay this amount or not? If you get a job like for the UN and this big organization, they will give you some of these salaries without even a blink of an eye. They already have salary skills. Okay? But for some small companies, they'll be like, maybe the job is supposed to pay 30K. Then they're able only to afford 15,000. Not because they are refusing, but because they have not yet reached that level. So you also that's why you need to do research about the company. Okay, so you need to know what is your salary of the position. So by the time you are negotiating, you can negotiate to your advantage. When you are asked to give a salary, try and give salary range. Don't give a fixed amount. Give a range. Once you have done your research, give a range. If the job is from 20 to 100,000, give a range hapo katikati hapo, unaweza sema hapo 30 to, ukiangalia pia your level. I hope we all understand Kiswahili. So you're also looking at where you are at. So those are all things that you're looking at. Negotiating is usually uncomfortable for many people. Why negotiating is uncomfortable for many people, and especially in Kenya, and especially for women? We have been brought up in a society which we are not worthy. Now you need to tell yourself right now, as you start looking for jobs, you are worthy. You've gone to campus. You did high school, you've cleared. You've gone to campus, and then on top of that, you're doing IT. Women in IT. So you are indeed worthy. So by the time you're sitting down to negotiate, you know your worth. Okay? And that negotiation, work on it, because as time is going by in the job market, you will negotiate many other times for even higher roles, more advanced roles. So you need that. You need to know, you need to be confident in yourself. You need to see yourself as worthy. It always takes place after the interview. First interview will be asked for what amount do you want? You give your range. If they call you the next one, probably right now, that time it will be to negotiate on salary. So just know they like you. For them to have called you for that now to negotiate salary, they do like you. So that means you've caught somebody's eye. So also you don't go there thinking that let me go and beg. I'm a beggar. to a certain extent, you're not a beggar. To a certain extent, you're a beggar. To a certain extent, you're not a beggar. So you need to know how to balance. We can move to the next slide. Unless there's a question. If there's a question, you can put it on the chat. We'll just answer. So do your research. You've talked about that. Don't walk in blank. Okay, initial offer, the employer may get the first offer, may give the first offer, determine what the value of this offer, consummate with your skills and the job type. So you need to match it, the value and of course your skills and the job that you're going to do. Ask what benefit it includes. At that time you can ask. When you're out salary negotiating your salary, you can now ask what are the benefits? Are there house allowance, medical, all those things? Those are also things that pay packs that come together with the pay. The employer may ask what you want. You need to have done your research to know the average pay. That one you've talked about. Be objective. Do not base your offer based on your lifestyle. Ladies, maybe you get hair from, where do people get hair from? Yes, very expensive hair from I don't know where. So you go and think, okay, my hair is already 30,000, okay? And then now on top of that, you add other things. Come on, no. Be objective when you're making this decision. And then at this time in your life, live within your means. Living within your means will keep you from getting into a lot of trouble out here. We can go to the next slide. So, counter offer. They've given you an offer, you have given your counter offer. Then they give you back. It's a back and forth now. Now you're talking. Oh, I'll give you this. No, I'll give you. So that is basically what you're negotiating now. You must let them know, present a counter offer. You must let them know why you want a higher pay, showcase your talent, still the same thing. Find a way of making them aware that you present high value to the company. That also takes us back to facts. Facts don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Information does not lie. So you need to have these facts at your fingertips. If you're transiting from another job, surely you do not want a lesser pay. Okay? So those ones are negotiation. Even if later now you want to transition from the job that you've gotten to the next one, accept the offer. In as much as you accept the offer, it doesn't harm to try a higher rate. Okay? If you have no experience at all, it would be wise to take this job if it is in line with your academic qualification. Take this job and use it as an experience pad. Sometimes you may get a job that, hey, this is not in water. Take it. At that time, you don't have anything else. A bird in hand is worth two in a bush. I reject the offer. When you're rejecting the offer, be courteous, because this world is round. You'll meet this person another place. Just reject the offer, be courteous, give them the reason why you're rejecting, thank them for showing interest in you as a candidate, let them know that you are open, and should better chances come up. So you see, it was a negotiation. We were not fighting. And in a negotiation, it can either go the way where you agree or you disagree. So let's agree to disagree respectfully. Okay. Brenda is asking, is it wise to research by asking people already working in that company, because salary information is mostly not out there? Sites like Glassdoor averagely provide data for the Western world. If the person working, if you have people who will not snitch on you, then ask. If you're not sure, just do research engine. Don't mess for yourself. Okay? If you're able to ask some people you can trust, fine. If not, don't. Just do the research. Next slide. After the interview, we have talked, send a thank you note within 24 to 48 hours. Somebody wants to say something? Someone is unmuted.
Sorry, that must be me.
Oh, karibu, Prof. All right, we'll continue. Lorraine? So after the interview, send a thank you note within 24 hours. You can thank them for the time, reiterate your interest in the role, briefly mention your qualities, you can send an email or a handwritten note. Evaluate your performance. Just go every time after every interview, just go back and find out, consider what you did well, what you can improve in. Just sit down, reflect. Next slide. The thank you note, just make it short. Don't start telling us stories, please. Reflect on the interview. Think about what you learned about the position, the employer. Consider how the role would fit your goals and priorities. That is for if they call you again. You need to at least have, okay, what did I see? Did I like how they handled me? Also, you also need to know that. Remember, as you look for a job, also you're also looking. You need a place where it's also not toxic and you don't want to die early. Follow up. If you don't hear back from the employer within the indicated hiring timeline, you can follow up once. You can call or email interviewer, reaffirm your interest in the position, but don't now keep on. You're calling day and night and day. Oops, you'll be persona and they'll be like, they'll put us a persona non grata, this one. And then as you wait, reduce stress, relax and try stress relieving activities, And then after you're done with the stress relieving activities, you may now again go back to applying for the next job. Next slide. Thank you. So this is the part where if you have questions, you can ask. And maybe if Lorraine wants to add something, Prof has joined us, Professor Judy can also say something. I know Monica is in the house. If she also wants to add something, she can also add. So questions, feel free. There's a question here. An experience I had, a potential employer sent an email asking for my pay slips, and there was no room for negotiation. How could I handle that? Okay, we are in a day and age of data protection, but some companies still insist on some of these things. For this, I would say it will now depend on you, whether you really want this job or not, because some employers will insist. They should not. Some will insist. So I think this one, it goes for some people may not feel comfortable. They don't share. They will not get the job. Some will be like, I will share, because when they ask for pay slip, they really want to confirm, is it true what you're telling them? Because people do lie and say this is the amount I was getting, but it is not true. So some people just want to verify if it is true. So that one you may be able to gauge, but if you really want the job, sometimes you may not have an option but to share it. Any other question?
Lindsay, please go ahead.
Okay, it's just a small question. There's this part in the slide where you say that when you are in an interview, it's not good when you call the interviewers by their first name. So maybe just by an example, how am I supposed to go about that place?
If I look back, for me, I think the interviews that we had, somebody would say Madam, Mr., or sometimes you just start speaking. You may not have to address the person directly because you have been asked a question. You just say thank you for that question and you go directly to your answer. So if you don't have to mention names, don't. Okay, because when they introduce themselves, maybe there were 5 people in the panel and they have introduced themselves. Remember also at that time, you're like, what? You hear too many things happening at the same time. You may not get all the names. So if you don't have to use names, don't. But if you have to, then it means you'll have to have remembered the name. You can say Mr. or Madam. At the end of the day, remember we said be respectful. Or you can
Okay,
even just say,
thank you.
sorry, I didn't get your name, kindly. You know, you can. Because it's a conversation that you're having. So also don't be too scared not to ask, but just make sure so that you don't come out looking very, maybe a disrespect to you're calling somebody by the first name or without a title. Some people take these things very seriously. Lindsay, have I
Lucy
answered you?
asks,
Sorry?
Yeah, you've answered me.
Lorraine, you're saying
Jen,
something?
Lucy is asking,
Uh-huh.
after getting a rejection letter, what kind of a response will she give?
After getting a rejection letter, can you give an example of what kind of reply I can give? The rejection letter, as in you had gone for an interview, then they sent you that will not be moving forward with you.
Yeah, something like
That's what that one. Lucy, you are referring to that one, eh?
Yeah, something like that. Or in the case, let's say, where they have reviewed your papers, haven't called you in for an interview, they're sending a rejection letter or an email. Like, if you're in the position of you're already gone to an interview, or either one of them, they give you a rejection email, what kind of response can you give to that? Like, is it like thank you, or like a response?
Okay. Lucy, you're still there, you went out. Okay. For this, I would say for some rejection letters, you don't need to reply because it's just like a system or something, which even if you renew. But if you're able to reply to it, just be respectful. Say thank you for the opportunity, you know, and you can just say in case there's another role, it would be.
Then you dropped. If I may also add, you could ask them to tell you where they think you can improve on. What can you improve on? So that you can ace the next interview.
Thank you.
Prof. Judy, what are your thoughts?
Hello?
Yes, Jen, hi.
Oh, you can hear me, eh?
Yes, I can.
Oh, sorry, you are adding, you're saying?
No, I was just telling her, she might also ask where exactly do they
Yes.
think she can improve on, so that at least with the
Sure.
next interview she can improve.
Good. Yes, that's also something else to just find out more on what could have, may I ask maybe what it is, how can I improve that one? Yes, that's a good point. Yes. Thank you, Lorraine. Any other question? Okay. Prof, you wanted to add something?
Hi, sorry I joined so late, so I wouldn't even know what has been missed. But I know you've done a good job, and from the questions I can see, I think we've been able to answer all of them, which is a good thing. Me, I usually reply when I get for any feedback. That is when I know that I cannot, when they say you can't reply to the system, that is the only time I don't reply. But I usually just say, give a polite thank you for the opportunity. And as Lorraine said, sometimes I would ask if I needed to have changed on a particular area. And I think that one I wrote for the French interview when I thanked them for the opportunity. And I actually told them that I'm available in the event should they ever need me in another time. So the lady actually responded back by saying, just work on your French, you'll be good. Because that is
Nice.
why that's why I didn't get the interview. She actually wrote me a whole paragraph. work on your French. She even said like watch more movies that are French subtitled. She actually gave me a whole list of things I should do to improve my French, and she said, and then I'll be good, because in terms of skill, I was just fine. Of course, I told them I'm available for other opportunities, which she later again gave me a data analysis job from the same place. So sometimes that conversation may be the reason why I got the data analysis job. Maybe if I had not bothered to tell them that I'm available for other opportunities, they may never have considered me. So I remember I also once replied to, I sent a thank you note to your end, a system thing. They're done for me is quite something, and I just responded by saying, when you get a response like your to check your system, things are now okay. And I remember writing back to her and really thanking her for supporting me and all that. It looked like a system thing, but I was surprised when she called back and told me, by then nobody calls me to thank me about anything. So sometimes responding is not a bad thing. You might meet a very bored HR on the other side, and you've just made her day by that particular one email, and that is a nice thing. Whether she responds back or not, that's okay, but at least on your side, you've done well. And that's how I handle any feedback that comes to my side. And I think I also liked what Lorraine was saying earlier, in communication, the thing of kindly. Make the polite verbs be part of you. You're always saying kindly, you're always saying thank you, you're always saying please, you're always saying things like that. When you do that, it becomes easier. It means you can, it's just how I communicate. So people will always respond back to you. And that's what I'll add on it. But I'm so grateful for all of us who've come in. Jane, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jane, for the session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof.
And I'd really like to thank the group that has been here like since Monday, consistently. Can we raise our hands? People who have not missed any session whatsoever. I'd like to thank you specifically. Yeah, thank you, Wainaina. Thank you, Sharon. People who've consistently been there from the beginning up to the end. Sometimes when you go for a learning, even when I know certain things, there's a way it just makes sense when it's being done when you hear it again in another space again. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure having all of us. Thank you for the cooperation that you have. And I hope all the questions have been answered, including the morning ones. We still
Prof,
meet
there's
again.
a morning question.
Oh, there's a morning
question. Yes.
Which one? Let's not say thank you when we leave somebody suffering. What was the morning question?
So Susan had asked, how do you handle a boss who doesn't delegate work, even if you show interest in doing the task?
I think that one Jane can help us.
Come again. How do you handle the boss who?
How do you handle a boss who doesn't delegate work, even if you show interest in doing the task?
For me, I would say for a boss, they're the ones who set the tone for where you are at. So you have offered, and if they feel like they want to, because you see now that is about the boss. You can't control how the boss thinks. There's some bosses who are micromanagers. There are those who do not want to delegate because they have their fears. If they delegate, you become better than them. So you see, there are some wars which you don't know. Somebody is fighting there. You do your part, you're courteous, do the job, whatever you're given to do excellently. If you can request. If they say no, they don't, it's okay. You do your work, have the right attitude. If they come around, give fine. If not, let them be. They are the boss. Don't try and outshine your boss. You will die. And in this case, die means hiyo kazi utaachishwa kazi. Don't. And I think in the whole nation right now has seen, never try and outshine your boss. Even if you know more than your boss, make them shine, make them look good. When another time you're a boss, even you will need somebody to make you shine. So let them be.
There's always this saying, rule number 1, the boss is always right. Rule number 2, if he's wrong, refer back to rule number 1. So
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah, that is actually very true. But in addition to that, you may also want to self-search and find out why they are avoiding you. You may what is it that you might want to get feedback also from others, why you think your boss is actually not considering you for work. And as Jen and Lorraine have said, there's some that are beyond your control, there's nothing really much you can do about it. But it's also good to also find out, is there something within my control that I can actually change? Maybe I'm always late for work. So the guy knows, Judy, maybe I'm the one, when it reaches 5 o'clock, I must rush home. So if he's looking for somebody to do longer hours, you realize that you are not the person. So depending on this boss, you might want to find out, are there things that are there things that I do or things that I can do differently that can make me be a more easier person to work with? Some of us are harsh, some of us are opinionated, some of us talk too much, some of us, just good to know that. Right? And I think I give the example for government in the morning. We'll do all the work and the boss takes it, then there's nothing you can do about it. If you show people you're angry, they just not pick you again. And that's how it ends. All right. Lorraine, have we done all the questions? We don't leave any question behind.
So more are still on the boss thing. They asked, how do you handle a boss who is in the same project, he's doing the same project as you are, but lies about everything? That is, he says or they say that everything is okay, but then they're still pending issues. And then the other one is, how do you handle a boss who isn't consistent and doesn't keep his word?
Do your bit. Just do your work. Do your work. And for me, one of the things I've learned, and as I was especially with lazy bosses, was to communicate via email, because they're the same ones who will say you're not working, you know. So for me, I've always communicated on an email. And I'll give examples. Where I was at TUK, if I do results, because I do when a lecturer marks, I'm supposed to send in marks. So what I do, after I have marked the work, I make sure I send a copy via email to the correct person. The reason being, when they're doing the marks, they'll always say, when they're late, people haven't sent. Then they're like, Judy, you have not sent. The same email I sent you, I just forward it again. So now, and I make sure I copy the one you're complaining to, so that if this person is clever, can see me, I actually did my part. So that is how I was able to manage people who are not consistent. I refer to an email. So and how I do that is I avoid asking things via phone. If I want to get the best, I ask you via email. And when you say I'm not, I respond to you again via email. And that I'm able to actually cover myself. Because some lazy bosses also hide under their workers. They give very poor instructions. And unfortunately in tech, you will find it. You know how you will find it? You'll find that the boss you're finding at the workplace probably did a diploma somewhere, has been working for very many years, and has never bothered to go back to school. So you straight out of campus, you have a lot of technology that you know, you are better at the job, but he can't just come to accept that you're better than him. So what he does is he hides above you and try to look like every problem that comes, it's actually you is at fault. So, and that is one way of looking at it. And then there are some also male bosses who look down upon female tech girls. They can't imagine that a girl can be in tech and can actually be better than them. That is another group that also wants to put you down. So me, what I do, whatever duty that I'm given, I do it perfectly and perfectly well until it embarrasses them on how to embarrass me. I make sure I've done a good job such that they're struggling to look for areas to lie about. And that has worked for me, and I mean like properly. Some bosses are just not nice, but you have to figure out how to survive. The thing I told you don't do is don't cry in his face, because we also have narcissists, and go and read about narcissism. A narcissist person is just a narcissist person. They look down upon women, they look down upon girls, they look down upon people. So such a person, you realize, is more of a health issue. But the work that you're supposed to do it so well. That's what my mama says. Do it so well until the work embarrasses them. It is not your fault. He gave you work to do. You have done it. You are not complaining. And then that way you're actually able to move on. Because remember, your boss could also be answering to other bosses, and the pressure could also be coming from other sides. And you're the easiest bait and the easiest person to work with. So that is how some of them do. Use your email, it works well. Yeah. Yeah, I also
Yes,
like what
I can agree. I can agree with Professor Judy. For bosses who have drama, put it down. Email, have your evidence. Have always your evidence. Oh, they did this, or sometimes they give you a verbal request and then later anakuruka. Just once you're given the request sent back, this is to confirm you had said this is email. Let email be your best friend. Always document. I agree with that.
Yeah, I also agree with Eunice. The one who's saying that it's good to avoid overthinking issues where you're imagining that the boss that must then mean this. If he has said this, I'm sure this is what he wants. Sometimes just give him what he wants. And that is why I love the email. Father to our, when I have a conversation, when he calls me and gives me instructions, I listen very keenly. And then when I'm responding, I say, Father to our conversation on the matter of. So I'm saying the response I'm giving is further to what we had discussed earlier. So akitaka kuruka hiyo pia aruke. And then I just give him his result the way he wants it. And when you have a case, it's always an issue of evidence. Where is the evidence that this thing actually occurred? And that also helps. And then in extreme cases where there's sexual violence amongst the bosses, there are some bosses I never go to their office. I used to advise the young girls not to go to the office there if they are not having their phone recorders on, because we had notorious bosses, and that is the way we were able to get sexual predators from the workplace. Just have when you're walking into his office, you have to have a way in which you're recording your conversations, so that it throws him back, like I want to be in a safe place. Again, for sexual predators, make sure the meetings are open. In many cases, I would walk into the office and leave the door open. And even the way I'm sitting away from the sexual predator helps me. Because a number of the boss female issues are just like, how do you say it? A number of issues with your bosses are just maybe he likes you. And of course, you don't like him, and you have reasons for not liking him. So he ends up having so many things piled on your case, and that is what would happen. So just be careful. As a girl, be careful. As tech, you look like you're even cleverer, and that becomes another problem. It looks like you're a cleverer, younger thing, and probably even earning equal salary, and he thinks you shouldn't, and that can actually hurt him. Wow, this has been nice, and I believe it won't end. This has been nice. We are still on with Lorraine. You can reach out to us whenever you have difficulty. And Jenny is our placement manager. So just make sure if you have any matters, Jenny, you've shared with them your contacts. If they have any issues with getting jobs, you reach out to Jane. If you have to go for an interview, reach out to Jane. She can be able to prep you. If you want a second review on your CV, reach out. We are able to look at it, so that for those of us who are not working, we must get jobs. That's the purpose of Cyber Shujaa. Training is one thing, adding skills, but the overall goal is for us to get jobs. So in the same spirit, I hope you filled in if you're working, where you're working at, and if you're not working, also let us know. Tomorrow we'll have an exit survey, which will help us improve on such courses when offered the next time. So thank you, Jane. You can take Jane's telephone number. It's on the chat. You can also take her email address. It's on the chat. And I believe when you get jobs, we'll be happy. In the same spirit, if you get a job, let us know, so that we'll then say that at least we contributed to something in your life. Or if you get any benefit of the training, let us know, so that we can at least see that our work really has paid off. None of us has paid for this course, right? and we are beneficiaries. So the only way we benefit is by knowing that we've actually benefited you in one way or another. So we are out there, we are here. If you need support from us, just let us know. Thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow is a physical session. I'd like us to all come tomorrow to SIU. When you reach the gate, the main gate, there'll be a list for Cyber Shujaa where you will say who you are. So come with any form of verification, even if it's a student card, even if it's an ID, just for the people at the gate to know where you're going. Lorraine, where is the venue for our workshop tomorrow?
I think it's the auditorium,
Yes. So when you
or it's yet to be confirmed.
it's auditorium or it's LT8?
I'll have to ask Jen.
Okay, we are going to confirm just because we're having so many, I think we're having so many IT things going on at USIU tomorrow. You have to ensure you have come to the right place. Otherwise, they might kick you out and you've missed out on the other side too. It will be a very beautiful session with experts from cybersecurity and industry, and it's something you really can't afford to miss. So see you guys tomorrow. Just come early. You'll be told where the venue of the place is. I think it's supposed to be LT8. You'll be told where the venue is tomorrow. And also make sure, I think tomorrow we'll be providing the exit interview form. Please, please, please make sure you fill it. It will help us go a long way in providing the same service for others. Others, asanteni sana and have a good one. Lauren, are they really carrying laptops? I don't think so.
No, not really.
Not really.
It's not a practical.
Yes. So asanteni sana and God bless you. Thank you so much, Lorraine too. And thank you so much, Jenny and Monica, for coming to support the young girls at least improve their lives. And we hope the sessions will add the money at the end of the day. Thank you so much and bye-bye.
Bye, good people.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.